Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Thursday, November the 9th. We do have a small slate today, just a 2-game slate, so it's going to be a bit of a quicker video, but we're still going to go game by game, guys. We're going to give you a quick breakdown of this 2-game slate, what I do like, taking a first look at this slate on Wednesday night. But as always, guys, before we do get started with the video, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos and if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you are new to the channel and if you have not heard of PrizePicks yet, we are partnered up with PrizePicks. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks, linked down below in the description. Or when you sign up, just make sure to use promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. And if you don't know what PrizePicks is, what they are a player prop site. So it's very simple, very easy to use. You're just picking more or less on a player's projection. You can see some of the props they do have posted for Thursday's games. Now, there's not much on the board right now. Obviously, there's only 2 games, so there's not going to be a ton to put up anyways. But you can see what's available right now, what they have up for NBA. They do also have stuff up for NFL, college football, soccer, ton of different sports. PrizePicks does offer a lot of sports and a lot of different markets. And on PrizePicks, you can mix and match sports. So you can build like multi-sport entries with a couple picks from NBA, a couple NFL picks, a couple college football, whatever it may be, whatever sports you like. Again, guys, if you don't have an account on PrizePicks yet, you can sign up, linked down below in the description, or use that promo code NOAH, get your first deposit matched up to $100. And as always, I should be posting a PrizePicks video for today, sharing a couple props I like for this 2-game slate. Don't think I'm going to be able to make the video tonight just because right now there's nothing on the board. There's only 1 game up on the board, but I probably will make a video sometime tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that for a PrizePicks video, giving some props I like for Thursday's games. But yeah, let's talk about this 2-game slate for Thursday night. Talk about the first game of the night, the Bucks and the Pacers. We'll start off on the Milwaukee side. So looking at the Bucks here, it is the second night of a back-to-back for the Bucks, but I don't think we really have to worry about any rest situations here. Chris Middleton did not play Wednesday. It looks like he was just rested for Wednesday's game, and he'll play for this game, so expecting Middleton to be back. If we're looking at this Milwaukee team, Milwaukee has been a team that I haven't really rostered much of this season. I don't think I've played Giannis on a main slate yet this season. I haven't played Dame, haven't played Middleton, haven't played Brook Lopez. Like, I've really just kind of been fading Milwaukee so far this season. But obviously on a 2-game slate, we can't really fade any team. So you're going to have to look to some of these Milwaukee guys. On this slate specifically, Giannis definitely stands out as the #1 overall pay-up option. Giannis was limited in Wednesday's game. He got ejected in that one, so he did not get full minutes. He only played 22 minutes. I wouldn't be worried about Giannis here on a back-to-back. He should be full go, especially after he only played 22 minutes on Wednesday night. And I think this is a really good matchup for Giannis going up against a Pacers team that plays fast, doesn't play much defense. I know Giannis has had some massive games against the Pacers in the past. This definitely feels like another big spot for Giannis. So really like Giannis here. Hard not to like him on a 2-game slate. Damian Lillard, though, I just haven't really been getting to Damian Lillard this season. We just haven't seen that same upside from Dame that we saw when he was on Portland. And it makes sense because he's playing with Giannis, who's a high-usage player. He did have a big game in their opener against Philly, against the Sixers, but ever since that opener, we just haven't seen Dame really show much upside. At 9,500, I think Dame is a fine contrarian play on this slate. I think he will be like the lowest owned stud on this slate. So if you want to play Dame, it's fine. But I would rather play Giannis. I would rather play Tyrese Halliburton, who we're going to talk about on the other side of this game. So not a ton of interest in Dame. Really no interest in Middleton. He's kind of been limited all season. He's just too expensive to play right now. No interest in Middleton. I don't mind going to Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez is a guy that doesn't really have the biggest ceiling, but in a matchup like this against a Pacers team that does struggle defensively, I think this is a spot where Brook Lopez could give you 30, 35 DK points, which at his salary you will definitely take. So I do have some interest in Brook Lopez here. Bobby Portis, Malik Beasley, Jay Crowder. None of these guys really stand out to me. Jay Crowder did start on Wednesday night, but that was just because Middleton was out. I would expect Crowder to go back to the bench now that Middleton is back. Malik Beasley has been starting this season. Hasn't really resulted in much fantasy value. He really hasn't been fantasy relevant. It is a 2-game slate, though. There's not a ton of value on the slate, so if you want to go to Malik Beasley for value, I don't hate it, but for me, when it comes to the Bucks, I'm really looking at Giannis the most here, then Brook Lopez. Those are probably my 2 favorite plays on Milwaukee. But you can play Dame, you can play Malik Beasley, but I definitely think Giannis and Lopez are the 2 guys I'm looking at from Milwaukee. Now, on the other side with the Pacers, Start off at the top with Tyrese Halliburton, who's coming in at 10K. I really like this spot for Tyrese Halliburton. We typically think of Milwaukee as a tough matchup for guards just because in the past they have been a tough matchup for guards, but that's just not the case anymore without Jrue Holiday. With Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley as your two backcourt defenders, neither one of those guys are great defenders by any means. Dame is obviously not a good defender, so this is a really, really good matchup for Tyrese Halliburton. I still think he ranks behind Giannis for me when you're talking about pay-up options on the slate, but and you can firmly go to Halliburton here. I think he is a strong play and a really good matchup. Miles Turner at 7,100. Don't love this spot for Miles Turner. Milwaukee's been a tough matchup for centers. Brook Lopez, a really good defender. But Miles Turner is a good point-per-minute player. We have seen in games where he does get big minutes, 30-plus minutes, he can really put up good outings. The only reason his minutes have been so low this season is just either due to blowout or foul trouble. But if this is a spot where Miles Turner gets 30 minutes or 32 minutes, I mean, it's 7,100. He's playable, but, not super interested in Miles Turner here. Not super interested in Buddy Hield or Bruce Brown. Benedict Mathurin did have a big game on Wednesday night, played 38 minutes, had 43 DraftKings points. I'm not super interested in Benedict Mathurin in this spot. I think it's, not the greatest matchup, but, Mathurin is a talented player that does have upside. It's just his minutes have kind of been really tough to predict this season, but he finally did get big minutes on Wednesday. I don't know if that's going to be something that continues to happen. I guess we'll have to see. At 5,300 on a 2-game slate, Mathurin's fine, but I'm not running to roster him. I think I would temper expectations a little bit, just after his big game on Wednesday. But that's pretty much it. Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith. I know Aaron Nesmith had a good game off the bench as well, but I really don't want to chase that. He feels priced where he should be at 5K. Jalen Smith also had a big game off the bench. Jalen Smith is pretty much just going to back up Miles Turner. So, if Miles Turner plays 30 minutes, that probably means Jalen Smith is only getting 18 minutes. If Miles Turner plays 25 minutes, that probably means Jalen Smith is getting 23 minutes. So, if Miles Turner gets in foul trouble, if this game winds up being a blowout, you could really see Jalen Smith put up a good outing. And Jalen Smith, he is a really good point-per-minute player. You look at his game log, he's been putting up, 23, 24 DraftKings points in only 16, 17 minutes. Last night, Wednesday night, got 25 minutes and had 38 DraftKings points. As a GPP dart throw, I think, Jalen Smith is in play here. I have a feeling he's actually going to be somewhat popular on this slate just because there is no value, and, he's probably going to project for 16, 17 minutes, and that's probably going to give him a projection of 20 DraftKings points, which at his salary, is not the worst. So I think Jalen Smith is in play. I feel, guys like Jalen Smith and Benedict Mathurin, after having big games Wednesday night, I feel like they're probably going to be a bit over-owned here. But, they are playable on a 2-gamer. Obi Toppin, he's been starting this season, but it hasn't really resulted in much fantasy value. I really thought Obi Toppin was going to have a big year for the Pacers, but that just hasn't really been the case. He's just not really getting a ton of minutes. At 4K, he's playable on a 2-game slate, but I definitely don't have a ton of confidence in Obi Toppin right now. So that's it for the Pacers. Let's move on to the next game, Atlanta and Orlando. So starting off on the Atlanta side, you got the two guards, Trae Young, 9,300, DeJounte Murray, 8,200. Between these two, I'd rather play Trae over DeJounte. I think Trae is just a better per-minute producer. I think Trae offers more upside, especially when the price tags are kind of similar. Now, today you are getting an $1,100 discount, dropping down from Trae to Murray. I think both these Atlanta guards are in play. I don't think I would play them together in the same lineup. I think, there's probably some negative correlation there. We know Trae Young's going to have a big role. He's going to play big minutes. We really haven't seen a ceiling game yet from Trae Young. He hasn't topped 50 DraftKings points yet this season. But I feel like that's coming at some point. Eventually he's going to have, one of those big ceiling games where he puts up, 30 points and 10 assists. So at 9,300, I think Trae is in play. But I would rather go to, Giannis. And I think I'd rather play Halliburton as well. And then DeJounte Murray, it's been very solid this season, has shown a little bit more of a ceiling than he did last season. Did have that 61 DraftKings points game against Minnesota. Minutes have been through the roof for DeJounte. At 8,200, he is definitely in play on the slate. Not a priority for me, I don't think, but a fine option. And then Jalen Johnson, he's been back in the starting lineup. They moved him back to the bench, and now he's back in the starting lineup. Now that Jalen Johnson is starting again, he's in play. 6,300 is a lot to pay for Jalen Johnson, but he's shown that when he gets the minutes, he can really produce, 30 minutes against the Knicks, 27 DK points, 29 minutes against Charlotte, 39 DK points. He's been a fantasy point-per-minute player this season, if not better than that. And in the starting lineup, I think he is going to play 34, 35 minutes. So at 6,300, I think Jalen Johnson is in play here. Typically wouldn't want to play him at that price tag on a normal slate, But on a 2-game slate, we just don't have as many options to choose from, so I think he is in play. And then Clint Capella at 5,700 is solid. I think him and Brook Lopez are very similar plays. I think him and Brook Lopez, they obviously are the same position. They're projected very similarly. They're only $100 apart in salary. Between those two, I think it's like a coin flip between Capella and Lopez. Capella probably in the tougher matchup, I would think, maybe, but at 5,700, Capella can outperform the salary when he gets like 28, 30 minutes. Capella's not going to play 35, 36 minutes, but he'll get probably 28 to 30 minutes, and he can give you 30 DraftKings points in that time. I have no issue with Capella at 5,700, but after that, it gets pretty thin. DeAndre Hunter is a pretty low upside player, but he is cheap. He is going to play 30 plus minutes, and it's hard to find guys this cheap, below 5K on a 2-game slate that are going to get 30 plus minutes. So I think that alone makes DeAndre Hunter playable. Bogdan coming off the bench is probably going to play mid to high 20s minutes. Typically don't play Bogdan when the team's fully healthy, but again, we got a 2-game slate here. We just don't have the same amount of options that we would normally have. So Bogdan for value, I don't hate going to. But after that, like Sadiq Bey and Onyeka Okongwu, I'll probably pass on them. I think that's pretty much it for Atlanta. So let's talk about the other side of this game now with Orlando. And looking at the Magic here, the Magic have been dealing with some injuries lately. No Wendell Carter Jr. I think Markelle Fultz is questionable, so we'll have to see if he returns for this game. Jonathan Isaac's questionable. I don't think that's super important, or he's probable actually, so he's expected to play. Without Wendell Carter Jr., it has been Goga Batadze getting the starts at center, and I assume Goga will start once again. Goga is a good per-minute producer, and we've seen in the 2 games he started, he's played 26 and 22 minutes, has put up 37 and 20 DraftKings points. At 5,400, the price tag has gotten to a point now where I don't think Goga's like this, slam dunk free square, but I still think he is in play at 5,400, especially on a 2-game slate. That's assuming that he does continue to start. So I have some interest in Goga. Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner, where they're priced at, I think both guys are fine. Neither one of them, though, stand out as priority options on this slate. I think the matchup against Atlanta is pretty solid. I don't think Atlanta is going to be that great defensively this season. I think Atlanta is going to be a good matchup overall. Banchero is 8K, again, which feels like an appropriate price tag, but he's been good this season. He's shown some upside, especially as of late. Don't mind him on the slate. Same with Franz Wagner at 7,400. I think both these guys would project slightly better if Markelle Fultz was ruled out. So if Markelle Fultz remains out, I would feel a little bit better about going to Wagner and Banchero. Cole Anthony at his price tag of 6K. I think I'm only playing Cole Anthony at this salary if Fultz is out. If Fultz plays, I don't have any interest in Anthony at 6K. I think he'd be a little bit overpriced, assuming Fultz came back. But if Fultz sits again, Anthony's fine. Definitely don't think he's a guy I'm running to roster though. Now that he's been priced up, Jalen Suggs has really benefited without Cole Anthony or without Markelle Fultz. He's had some good games lately. Minutes have been solid. He has been in some foul trouble in some of these games, but typically I think we can expect around 30 minutes from Jalen Suggs. And I think without Markelle Fultz, his minutes would be even more secure. So I wouldn't mind going to him at 5,600. Again, if Fultz plays, I think I would probably just back away from Suggs at that price tag. And then Fultz, if he does play, 5,100 for Markelle Fultz is pretty cheap. I'd assume if Fultz is playing, he's going to get his normal minutes. Fultz obviously is a player that has had some injury history in the past, so they might kind of take it easy on him, even if he does play, like they might limit him. But I'd assume if he's playing, he's going to be full go. And if we're getting a fully healthy, full go Markelle Fultz at 5,100, that looks pretty appealing to me. So I definitely like Markelle Fultz on this slate if he is able to go. After that, you got some value here with a guy like Mo Wagner, who's been getting some additional minutes without Wendell Carter Jr. Last 2 games, he's played 19 and 26 minutes. He'll pretty much get the backup center minutes behind Goga Batadze, and he might play a little bit alongside Goga. I don't think I would play Wagner and Goga together, but if you're fading Goga and you want to play Wagner, I think that's definitely, you're getting direct leverage there in a scenario where maybe Goga gets an early foul trouble or something. Mo Wagner is going to be the guy coming off the bench getting those minutes. So I do think at 4,800, especially since he has power forward and center eligibility, it's easier to roster him. I do think that Mo Wagner is a solid value on the slate. And then Anthony Black has been starting lately in place of Markelle Fultz. I'd assume if Markelle Fultz is out again, Black would probably start. If Black starts at 4,300, he's an okay value play. Not a very high upside player, but the minutes have been strong in the 2 games he has started. So he would be viable at 4,300, assuming that Fultz remained out. But I think Fultz might come back. We'll just have to see, though. But that's really it for Orlando. I think that's it for this little 2-game slate for Thursday night, guys. I know it's not the most exciting slate, but after we had a massive 14-game slate on Wednesday, it's kind of nice to get a little bit of a relaxer for Thursday. I think we'll have a bigger slate Friday. We'll definitely have a bigger slate Friday, but appreciate you guys watching the video as always. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like button down below if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and be sure to go check out PrizePicks, guys, sponsor of the video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks, linked down below in the description, or just when you sign up, make sure to use promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. Check them out if you guys have not yet. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys, for this 2-game slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one. Best of luck tonight. Peace.